Swantee's features fast trade-in value, competitive specials, and no-hassle financing. Now, Swantee's wants your car, paid for or not. They will come to you, have an extra car, sell it to us today, or trade in to upgrade. Swantee's of Bullhead City at 2494 Highway 95, right here in beautiful Bullhead City.
There's a common household fixture that produces more air pollution than all motor vehicles combined, and finding out what it is might leave you feeling burned. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, back to clear the air after this.
Red alert, Yahoo users. You've fallen in a trap that could ruin your life. If you keep using Yahoo,
you consent to sharing all data in your email account with our AI providers, and you grant us a perpetual license to use, display, publish, and publicly distribute your content in any media known now or in the future, and to let other users access and distribute it as well.
Yikes! It's time to switch to StartMail, the only email that's AI-free and private by design. StartMail.com.
Researchers are calling household fireplaces an air pollution giant, and they're not just blowing smoke. Residential wood burning accounts for almost 25% of all wintertime pollution, and the smoke doesn't just linger around the chimney that puffs it out. It spreads across entire suburbs and cities. Here's the kicker. Around 8,600 premature deaths are linked to wood-burning smoke exposure in the U.S. every year, even though only 2% of households burn wood. You can still have a cozy gathering around the fireplace, but limited to special occasions. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht for StartMail.com, the AI-free email alternative.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
From the KTOX AM 1340 and 92.9 FM Weather Center, I'm Charles Dixon. Clear sky and 92 degrees on Route 66 in Needles, and good afternoon to listeners in Bullhead City. Currently few clouds and 89 degrees for you. Getting down to 61 overnight tonight. Saturday's high will be in the lower 90s, overcast clouds. Temperatures in the upper 80s on Sunday. That's your KTOX Tri-State weather. Brought to you by Route 66 Broadband.
KTOX.
The opinions voiced on the Rob Hanson radio program are those of the host and the callers, and not necessarily those of KTOX and Reuben Broadcasting.
Oh my goodness gracious me, mercy sakes alive. It is Friday the 13th. Oh my goodness gracious me. The only thing worse than Friday the 13th is Saturday the 14th. Let's get this thing started, shall we? I think we shall.
It's the Mr. Rob Hanson radio program on KTOX 1340 AM, now with FM on 92.9 FM, the Tri-State's undisputed talk leader.
And welcome back. It is Friday the 13th, 2026. My goodness gracious me. The year is flying by so fast. I mean, before we know it, it's going to be Christmas again. before we know it. Anyway, welcome back to the program, 855-586-9134. Now, here's a story that's not getting a much headlines, or as much as headlines. But, you know, the United States is fighting on multiple fronts. And one of those fronts is, well, a lot closer to home and actually in our own hemisphere. and that is the strangulation of resources to Cuba. And it's been about they're going through a severe energy crunch right now, and Cuba is now in talks with the United States, smack in middle in one of the worst fuel shortages the island has ever seen. And let me tell you, this isn't just some diplomatic chit chat. This is high stakes, brink of collapse kind of stuff. Picture this: for 3 full months, 3 months, not a single drop of foreign oil has made it into Cuba shores. No tankers docking, no shipments from Venezuela, no relief from Mexico or anyone. Why? Because the Trump administration has turned the screws tighter than ever on what amounts to a full-on oil blockade. They cut off Venezuela's supply after the intervention there earlier this year, slapped threats of tariffs on any country thinking about sending crude to Havana, and basically said, not on our watch. The result? Well, Cuba is now running on fumes. Absolute fumes, literally. President Miguel Diaz-Canel? Yeah. Went on national TV yesterday and confirmed no fuel imports since January. The reserves of diesel and fuel oil are depleted. Power plants are shutting down left and right. The electrical grid is so unstable, they are dealing with rolling blackouts that last for hours and sometimes days. Farms can't run machinery. Hospitals are scrambling, and people are walking miles because there's no gas for cars. Tourism, forget it. Airlines are canceling flights because they can't refuel. The economy, already battered from years of sanction, inflation, and migration waves, is teetering on the edge of a full humanitarian crisis. The UN, in its feckless best, is even stepping in, negotiating with Washington just to get some fuel through for humanitarian operations only. This is where it gets really interesting. In the middle of all this desperation, Diaz-Canel straight up admitted that Cuban officials have been holding talks with the U.S. government. The first time they publicly confirmed it, he called it dialogue to resolve bilateral differences. But he was clear, these talks have been on the basis of equality, respect for sovereignty, and no interference in internal affairs. Translation: Cuba's not rolling over, but they're at the table because they have no choice. The blockade is working, and it's hurting them bad. Just hours before that announcement, the Cuban government dropped another bombshell. They're releasing 51 prisoners in the coming days. They're saying it's a gesture of goodwill brokered through the Vatican. You know, the Pope's people have been quietly mediating for years on prisoner issues. But, come on, really? The timing is everything. This comes as pressure peaks right as Trump is out there saying Cuba is in deep trouble and hinting at who knows what's next. Some are calling it a small concession, maybe to ease the blockade a little bit. Others are saying it's the start of bigger negotiations, maybe economic reforms, maybe political openings, maybe even a grand bargain. Trump himself has talked about making a deal before it's too late, and his team, including Secretary Rubio, has been floating ideas. Now, let's be real. I've no love for the Cuban regime, never have, and the suppressed dissent, economic mismanagement, and the left that's left people scraping by. But I also know that a pressure campaign, when I see one, this blockade isn't subtle. It's designed to force change. And it's working. The question is, what comes next? Does Havana crack open and open the door to real reforms, or does Washington offer relief in exchange for concessions, or does this drag on with more suffering for regular Cubans who are already paying the price. And, of course, Trump is playing hardball. No question. He's got the leverage. But history shows these standoffs can go sideways fast. Remember the 60s? We don't want to go there again. Dialogue is better than deadlock, even if it's grudging. And that prisoner release, small step maybe, but it's something that's opening the door to more releases. For your speech, to economic breathing room, well, that's great. I hope so. Is it just window dressing while the lights stay out? Not so great. So what do you think? Is this the beginning of the end for the old system in Cuba, or is this just another chapter in a very long, intense story in Cuba? Oh, give me a call, 855-586-9134. And with that, we will go straight to the phones. KTOX, you are on the air.
Yeah, I don't know what good these sanctions really do. They're more or less just an act of war.
Yeah.
And they really don't hurt the people that they're supposedly trying to affect. All they do is hurt the common folks like you and me.
Well, this is true, but they are landlocked.
There's no buts, Rob. There's no buts, Rob.
Okay,
that's true. And that's it.
They are landlocked. They are locked on their island. There is no oil coming in. There's no shipments of anything coming in.
What significance does Cuba have to us, Rob?
It's been an enemy of ours on our very doorstep
an enemy?
for decades.
How can they be an enemy? They're nothing, Rob. So the government.
What's your argument here?
So their government doesn't like us. Big deal.
Okay.
They have no way to affect America whatsoever.
Okay.
There's no reason to put sanctions on them.
All right. Well, the thing is, they are.
But they are what? They are putting sanctions?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I know, and it's ridiculous.
Okay.
It's been ridiculous since the 60s.
I don't think it was all that ridiculous since the 60s. I seem to remember something about the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Once you got the missiles out of there, Cuba was pretty much nothing again.
Yeah, well, if we'd taken our foot off their neck like we did to begin with, the Soviets would have moved right back in late 60s or early 70s, or even the 80s. Okay. So going along those lines of thought. So tell me again
how do you think Ukraine likes it? How do you think Russia likes it if Ukraine is going along and getting missiles right on their border? Same thing as Cuba having missiles aimed at us.
Right. And who is Cuba's allies now?
I don't think Cuba has any allies right now.
They certainly do.
Now, who, Rob? You tell us.
Okay, I will tell you. Do you want it in alphabetical order or just right off the top of my head? Russia is still an ally. China is an ally. Venezuela was an ally, but we kind of decapitated that one. Venezuela had what kind of an economy? A crud economy, a manure economy. Yeah,
they had nothing going for them. I mean, here's
economic.
The economic warfare that we created down in Venezuela prevented them from having any kind of an economy.
Well, they were also receiving support from China. They were receiving support through Russia.
Well, China's got a little different idea than we do. We go in and bomb people and make people hate us. China goes in and gives people stuff. Now, there may be prices to pay later on down the road, but they actually do things that make things better. Did we make things better in Iraq?
We're talking about Cuba and Venezuela right now.
It doesn't matter, Rob.
And
everything that we've done has been
we have made things better in Venezuela.
How?
I don't know. Do you look at the news? Do you look at the reports coming out of there?
Blowing up a few scraggly drug boats and then killing the people out in the water? That's making life better for everybody. Yeah.
That's not all we've done down there now, is it?
I don't think we've done very much.
What else have we done in Venezuela? We forced regime change in Venezuela. And then we put the new president for life or whatever on notice that the same thing will happen to you.
If change worked out for us, Rob?
Well, it seems to be working out pretty damn well right now for the Venezuelan people.
Oh, yeah, sure it is. Whatever. All right. I'll talk to you later, Rob. Have a great weekend, though.
You too. Bye-bye. 855-586-9134 is the number if you want to join in the conversation. And by the way, thank you for that call. That was fun. Anyway, this show's been rated X by the Alator. Listen to you, Bill. Oh, China. Yes. China does a lot of things. They also move a lot of weapons. They move a lot of material support. And let's go back to the phones. KTOX, you're on the air.
Yeah. Well, the reason why Cuba had to turn to China and Russia is because right after Donald Trump got elected the first time, he wanted to reverse all of the stuff that Obama was trying to do toward the last part of his presidency, which was normalize trade relations with Cuba, thus taking the wind out of the sail of the Chinese who wanted to also corner that or use Cuba as a trading partner.
Chuck, hang on. Chuck, I will say you have a really good point.
So,
see, wasn't that easy?
What really is happening here is we have one. There's many ways to skin a cat. We've heard of that. Everybody's heard of that term. And I'm not talking about the kitty cats. I'm talking about catfish. There's many ways to skin a cat, and one of them was the carrot. Use the carrot, the power of the carrot that Obama was trying to use, and you have a president now that wants to do everything he can the most violent way possible.
Okay, well, he's not proposing violence against Cuba.
Well, he's what the last caller brought up is he's doing these.
Oh, there you are. You're back.
They don't have to be so cruel to the Cuban people because that's who's hurting.
I understand this, but also,
do you really think
what has been U.S. policy since Castro took over? What has been the U.S. policy since Castro took over?
Well, because they're directly opposed to capitalism. They're communists, and they have a communist type of order that they are sympathizers. China, Russia, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. But what you can do is say, we're not going to play that game anymore, kind of like what Obama was doing. We're not going to play your game anymore. We just want to open up. What purpose is there to do this? Do you really think it bothers China?
Probably not in the great scheme of things, but if they could get basing rights, there would definitely be a thorn in our side.
Is it to try and provoke the people to submission so they have to overthrow their government? Is that the plan here?
Seems to be working.
Seems to be working?
Yeah, seems to be working.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Well, look, Chuck, go ahead and hang up because you have no argument against that. But yeah, Larry Bear, you're right. Cuba's going to fold like a cheap suit sooner rather than later. And I believe the United States is going to say, look, we will allow oil and food and stuff like that to come in, but you're going to have to do some, you got lots of splaining to do. You've got some changes you're going to have to make. You're going to have to allow certain things from here on out. And if regime change is part of that equation, well, guess what? It may end up having to be part of that equation. I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller. Anyway, we'll be right back. KTOX Needles.
Some people call me the space cowboy. Some call me the gangster of love. Some people call me Maurice, 'cause I speak of the pompatus of love. People talk about me, baby. Say I'm doing you wrong, doing you wrong.
This portion of the Rob Hanson radio program could be brought to you by you for as little as $25 a week. For more information, email us at info@ktox1340.com. That's info@ktox1340.com. info@ktox1340.com.
KTOX.
KTOX.
The Tri-States Talk Leader.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
I've got muscular dystrophy. That means my muscles are weak and it can be hard to breathe.
Now is a scary time for everyone, as we are at a higher risk for respiratory infections.
In good times and bad, the Muscular Dystrophy Association helps kids live with neuromuscular disease. The pandemic places more than 200,000 adults and children with muscular dystrophy at a greater risk.
Breathing is often hard when you live with a neuromuscular disease.
But the Muscular Dystrophy Association is here to help.
MDA is what ensures they receive critical medical care at one of over 150 care centers across the U.S.
During COVID-19, kids like me are at a greater risk.
The Muscular Dystrophy Association needs your support now more than ever.
COVID-19 won't stop us. To learn how you can help, please visit helpmda.org. Thank you.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. You're neutral to it, and you can hear it repeatedly without feeling anything. But when we introduce a new stimulus, save the food, we've achieved pulling a natural or inborn response from you. Save the food. Why are we doing this, you may ask? Save the food. Because this ad is trying to change the world's behavior through brainwashing. Because 40% of all food in the US never gets eaten. Save the food. And that costs a family of 4 $1,500 a year. Save the food. Cha-ching. It's worsening climate change through the release of methane gas. Save the food. Cha-ching. And it's wasting precious natural resources like our fresh water. Save the food. Cha-ching. So when you hear this sound, don't be neutral. Rethink your behavior. Cook it, store it, Share it, just don't waste it. For tips and recipes, visit savethefood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
Everybody buckle up. Buckle up. Buckle up. Buckle up. Everybody buckle up. Buckle up. Buckle up. Everybody, buckle up.
Let's go.
Buckle up.
Can we go to the store? Can we get some ice cream?
Buckle up. Everybody, buckle up.
Everybody, buckle up.
A lot goes on in the car, but remember, you're in control. Stand firm. Only move when you hear the click that says they're buckled in. Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
KTOX Needles, the very best in live local talk.
To talk with Rob on the air, call 855-586-9134.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back. 855-586-9134. You know, let's climb into the Wayback Machine, and let's go to the Civil War that led to Castro's rise to power in Cuba, and the death and destruction that has happened there on that tiny small island in the decades thereafter. According to the Cuba Archive Project, an independent tracking, they track regime victims. This documented around 10,723 deaths attributed to the Castro regime. And as of recent updates, although through the mid-2010s, this includes about 5,600 through firing squads. Oh, by the way, these are people that just, happen to disagree with the communist government. About 1,200 extrajudicial assassinations. Oh, you don't like El Presidente? Goodbye. Capped in the back of the head. No trial, no public execution, just gone. And of course, if you disagree with them, but not violently so, or you may, your imprisonment may serve to terrorize the rest of the populace better, they'll lock you in prison. About 2,000 deaths in prison, mostly political prisoners from mistreatment, hunger, or suicide under duress. Other estimates for executions alone range from 5,000 to 10,000, especially in the early years between 1959 and 1970, including post-revolution trials of Batista-era officials and later dissidents. The Black Book of Communism, 1997, suggests 7,000 to 10,000 executions in the 1960s alone, with totals representing related deaths of 15,000 to 18,000 through the late 1990s. Deaths in anti-regime resistance, around 5,300 documented in fights like the Amsterdam Mountains Rebellion and the Bay of Pigs invasion. Now, because Cuba is such a wonderful place, people are literally dying to escape from there. A major category often included in deaths due to communism in those who died escaping repression or economic hardship. Estimates of 78,000 drowned, were killed by sharks, or perished at sea attempting to flee since 1959. This frequently cited by exile groups, sources like the Cuba Archive. So, yeah, I think regime change there is probably a good idea because there are people still trying to escape from Cuba. You know, you might love them, you might hate them. I definitely have mixed feelings about Clinton, but when Clinton sent ICE agents to arrest a little boy and send him back to Cuba, yeah, I was upset then. He had family in the United States he could have stayed with. He would have been well taken care of. Yes, his mother died on the way over. But have we heard from Elian Gonzalez since? Has anybody heard from this kid? Well, he's nearly an old man now. Or very much an adult. But has anybody heard from him? Heard about him? No, they haven't. More than likely, they sent a little boy at gunpoint away from the United States to be executed in the country that him and his mother escaped from. His mother, of course, losing her life. So tell me tell me again why regime change in Cuba isn't a good idea just on a humanitarian basis? Forget the other geopolitical nonsense. Just from a human rights aspect. And yes, if having the entire country rebel against the people, the people in charge in Cuba, and forcing regime change, it might be all the better. Let's go to the phones. KTOX, you're on the air.
What sort of indoctrination do you suppose he's been through during all this time, if he's still alive?
You know it's had to have been horrible. You know it's had to have been horrible. I'm not even going to speculate. I have a feeling he's no longer among the living.
That's pretty much all I had to say. It's pretty ridiculous that we have to go all the way around the world to free people that are, subdued like that, and then yet right here off our own shores, it's pretty hard to even lift a finger.
Well, we're doing a pretty effective job. We're starving the country, literally starving the country. The only ships getting into Cuba are Guantanamo Bay, and those are U.S. naval ships. So,
well, we don't have any news at all from there. Is there any shortwave stations or anything broadcasting out of there?
No, not really. Every now and again, there's a FT8 signal that comes out of Cuba. I've only contacted them once, but other than that, nothing. And especially not since they've got all these rolling blackouts and the power is going out because they don't have the fuel anymore.
I think maybe any of their closer neighbors might have an inkling of what's going on over there.
Well, if you heard what I was saying, yeah, they do, and this is what's happening. They're running out of fuel. They're running out of food. They're close to complete collapse. And the Cuban government is now negotiating with the United States. So,
well, I think our negotiators ought to demand a better accounting of what's going on presently, shouldn't they?
I would think so.
And at least be taken on a tour.
Who? I don't know if that would be all that safe for people, honestly. All right, Kenny. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye. KTOX, you're on the air.
So the answer is these poor Cuban citizens are being mistreated by their government. Let's screw them even more. Is that the answer?
I don't know. What's the answer, Chuck? The answer is right now we have oil blockaded from reaching their country.
Right, which is doing what to their people?
And it's effective. It's driven the communist regime there to the negotiating table.
Negotiating for what?
Chuck, are you that dense, or are you just being obtuse
on purpose? You're not making a very strong case here, considering everything that's going on here.
What happens when you cut the fuel off, Chuck?
What is the goal here?
Regime change.
So they're saying, oh, yeah, we're going to go ahead and regime change if you give us oil? What kind of crack are you smoking today, Rob? And what kind of crap is everybody smoking?
Hang on now, Chuck. Now, where did you get the idea that I was the one in charge of this?
You're advocating. You're advocating for everything.
Answer my question. Where did you get the idea that I am in charge of this?
Where did you get the idea that I thought you were in charge of this?
Because of what you are telling me.
You think it's good. You want to be in a position.
I want the people in Cuba to be free.
3,000 people in Iran. Oh my God, they're killing their people in the streets. Well, you know what the answer is, Rob? Let's go over there and kill some more. Yeah, let's do the same thing in Cuba. Do you know how stupid you sound?
Do you know how stupid you sound right now?
Damn.
Because you're. Hang on a second there, pal. You know better than to cuss on my show. And frankly, I don't give a hoot about the regime in Iran. Matter of fact, the more of the people in power in Iran that turn into pink mist, the better. Yeah, does that make me bloodthirsty? Does that make me a killer? Does that make me evil and mean? So be it. I don't care. I'm sick and damn tired of the regimes that all they want to do is control their people to the point where if you slightly disagree with them or you slightly step out of line with them, that you die. Let's go to the phones. KTOX, you're on the air. Please be more sensible than Chuckles.
This is Laguna Beach Dude.
You're more sensible than Chuckles right off the bat, then.
I don't know about that. But
Okay, well,
Well, I'm stoked to be on your show. I'm stoked, and everything's gnarly. I just wanted to say this. You see, if you were to go to Florida, for example, and you speak to some of the Cubans there,
yeah,
they were, most of them supported Trump, and because they've been through hell. You know what I mean? They know now Trump is not perfect. Don't get me wrong. When he wanted to he wants to spend money going to the moon, or so. I'm against going to the moon. We can't even prove that we went to the moon. Nobody on this earth can go there to find out. Right. We got too many problems in America. We got to fix.
Yeah.
But so do I agree with everything he says? No, I don't agree with everything Trump says. However, if you think about it, the communists, that's why they came to America, because we're not quite there. I mean,
we're not rounding people up, citizens in the middle of the night, and executing them because they have different political beliefs.
Right. And
we're not running gangs of people through neighborhoods, offering money and food for news of dissidents after we've starved them for a month. Oh, by the way, that is a communist tactic. They cut the food off to neighborhoods for weeks.
Another thing they do is they make sure they take away your guns. See, that's one of the reasons why America is far more free than other countries in the world, is because we have the right to own guns. I'm not talking about criminals. I'm not talking about people that don't use guns correctly. But for the honest citizen, we have the right. And that's what protects our country too, because you can't. Who's going to want to come in and try to take over America? They'd have to be crazy.
Well,
with all the guns here.
We've had four terrorist attacks in 2 weeks, 2 in one day yesterday. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we're lucky there's not more with the way Biden for 4 years let in.
Tell me about it.
People that we don't know. We don't know. We had no idea their background.
Well, as old Henry said, these are probably lone wolf attacks. I don't know why you can't say wolf, but that's all right.
A lot of those countries they came from, they didn't have paperwork to prove. I mean, they don't keep track of them sometimes. Like they should. Like how many murders they did or whatever. It's hard to know.
Or they're foreign agents being sent over here, and they know exactly what they are.
And by the way, I like Chuck.
I love Chuck. He's an interesting character, and I like it when we can have rational conversations. But when he starts hitting the sauce again, or doing whatever he's doing, and then he starts raising his voice and accusing me of causing the problem. I'm President Misty Hanson. I caused this. Yes, I'm the one responsible for it. Come on, give me a break.
Well, he kind of spices up the show a little bit.
He spices up the show, and then his mouth runneth over, and I have to hit the delay.
Ed from Needles used to spice up the show a little bit. I don't know what happened to him, but
I know what happened to him.
But he's still alive.
Well, as far as I know, he is. Yeah.
He just don't call in no more.
Yeah,
I guess.
I have no desire to talk to him either.
Oh, I can't. Oh, you told him not to come on the air too?
Well, no, I never. I only said that once, and then he apologized. But he hasn't called in a long time.
Well, Steve Dowdy told him he couldn't call his show anymore.
That's Steve fine. Dowdy. That's between Steve Dowdy and Ed.
Right.
But I called him out one day when he started making extremely rude comments and said, "Hey, you're not welcome back here anymore. And then a few months later, he called back and apologized, and we went on from there, and that's fine.
Well, now Steve Downey will come on your show maybe or Mike's show or something again. I like to hear from him sometimes. I don't know if he'll come back and visit or not.
He called in, was it this week? Was it this week? Yeah, no, it was last Saturday he called in. And he was upset thinking that, that I blocked his phone number. He messaged me, "Why'd you block my phone?" I didn't block your phone number. Well, I couldn't get through. I said, "What time did you call?" And it was during a repeat. And we turn off the phones when we're not here, and therefore it goes beep 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 and it hangs up on you.
Well, my political views line up with his a lot. That's why I guess I like him, because he's on some of his issues. He's right on the money. I mean, he's right on the money.
Yeah.
And but he's a conservative like me. That I think for the most part.
Yeah.
So, anyways, thank you again, Miss Roberts. Thank you. I appreciate you allowing me to be on your show.
Why wouldn't I? Now, why do you feel the need you have to thank me for that? I mean, holy crap.
Well, I appreciate it, and I don't know, but anyways.
All right. Well, you're welcome then.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. It is the Mr. Rob Hanson radio program. Back after these messages. KTOX Needles.
I can see her lying back in her satin dress in a room where you do what you don't confess. Sundown,
This portion of the Rob Hanson radio program could be brought to you by you for as little as $25 a week. For more information, email us at info@ktox1340.com. That's info@ktox1340.com. info@ktox1340.com.
KTOX.
KTOX.
The Tri-States Talk Leader.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
Attention all business owners. If you have been looking for a reliable cleaning service, stop searching. River Life Pros are the best in the industry. River Life Pros are a family-owned mother-daughter cleaning service revitalizing businesses from Needles to Laughlin. Licensed and bonded, Carrie Ann, Kylie, and Ashley will go the extra mile to make your enterprise sparkle. Make an appointment today with River Life Pros by calling 702-859-2480, 813-812-3097, or go to homecleaningmojavivalley.com.
This is Mike from the Afternoon Drive-By. I want to talk to you about one of KTOX's most loyal and famous sponsors. That is Dandy's Donut and Deli in Fort Mojave. Dandy's has fresh-baked donuts, hot and iced coffee every day. Besides the consistently incomparable food and exceptional service, Dandy's overall excellence and clean atmosphere is unsurpassed. Dandy's Donut and Deli at 4630 Highway 95. Open 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday.
And tell them that you heard it on KTOX.
In need of a licensed professional plumbing service? Don't look any further than Skilled Tradesman Services. They offer commercial and residential plumbing service and new construction contracts at competitive prices. Water heater installation prices starting at $700. 10% off for veterans and seniors. Mention this ad and get an additional 10% off. Call Skilled Tradesman Services at 928-450-5104. That's 928-450-5104.
Developers and investors, located in beautiful Needles, California. This is your opportunity. Riverlux Resort, a city-approved 15-acre mixed-use development along the Colorado River, zoned PUD and C2, ready for retail, resort, and residential growth. Prime location between the river and the golf course, where lifestyle meets potential. Visit riverluxresort.com and discover the vision.
This is Mike from the Afternoon Drive-By. I want to talk to you about one of KTOX's most loyal and famous sponsors. That is Dandy's Donut and Deli in Fort Mojave. Dandy's has fresh baked donuts, hot and iced coffee every day. Besides the consistently incomparable food and exceptional service, Dandy's overall excellence and clean atmosphere is unsurpassed. Dandy's Donut and Deli at 4630 Highway 95. Open 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday.
And tell them that you heard it on KTOX.
KTOX would love to do your advertising. If your organization or business needs a little help, KTOX can get your name out on the air. We have the best advertising rates in the area. Reach us by email at ktoxradio@yahoo.com or 928-296-2562. That's KTOXradio@yahoo.com or 928-296-2562. Swantee's of Bullhead City wants to make your life easier. Swantee's has new Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Dodge vehicles all in stock, like the 2025 Dodge Durango. Swantee's features fast trade-in value, competitive specials, and no-hassle financing. Now Swantee's wants your car, paid for or not. They will come to you. Have an extra car? Sell it to us today or trade in to upgrade. Swantee's of Bullhead City at 2494 Highway 95 right here in beautiful Bullhead City.
Hi, Crystal again from High Desert Heat. Never before in history has it been more important to hang on to your Second Amendment rights. Times are changing fast. Make sure you and your family are protected. At High Desert Heat, we have all your Second Amendment needs. Weekly CCW classes as well as training or even a try before you buy. Custom Cerakoting, engraving, ladies private and group shooting classes. We are your hometown family-friendly one-stop shop. High Desert Heat, 4410 Highway 95, Fort Mojave, Arizona, 928-763-4328.
KTOX, we bring you facts without fear or favor.
To talk with Rob on the air, call 855-586-9134.
And welcome back. 855-586-9134. Got about 3.5 minutes left. It's already been a contentious first hour. Oh, I wonder what we can do for the second hour of fun and festivities. Yeah. 855-586-9134. So, what was it? I can't find... Oh, here it is. Here it is. If you're out and about in Needles this next Wednesday, head on over to the train station there in the park, and there's for this expo that's going on. Henry will be there and broadcasting live on KTOX. And it's the Needles Job and Resource Fair, and that's on the 18th. A bunch of things happening there. Opening remarks from Mayor Jernigan, City Manager Patrick Martinez, Thomas Stone, Public Defender, Field Representative, and Supervisor Rowe, and Steve Reyes. Let's see. Bunch of people are going to be there. River Valley Home and Health and Hospice, St. Vincent de Paul, Republic Services, Teamsters, Tri-State Community Health Care, Bullet Health, BLM, and let's see here now. I imagine that's the Bureau of Land Management is going to be there as well. Let's go to the phones real quick. KTOX, you're on the air. Good afternoon. Oops. Try this again. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Oh, yeah. Is Mr. Rob in?
No.
Yeah, speak to Mr. Rob?
Nope. Sorry. No Mr. Rob here.
No?
Yep.
What? Oh, is he out?
He's never
anyway,
been. He hasn't been here all day.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Miss Rob's here, though, if you'd like to talk to her.
No. I wanted to talk to the man.
Okay,
of the
well,
house, but anyway,
all right. Well, thanks for calling.
Well, wait a minute. I'll talk to you then. That's all right.
Play.
That
Go ahead.
song you
Play stupid games with me.
I thought it was a smart ass game.
Yeah, I prefer the prefix
You
of
want the dumbass version?
dumb, but that's all right. So what's on your mind?
You want the
man?
dumbass version?
Yes, I'm already getting the dumbass version.
No, you're getting the smart ass version.
All right. Well, whatever. It's in the eye of the beholder, and I'm beholding. What's on your mind?
I'm holding the phone too, so and I got a beer over here. That's a lie, but we'll pretend. And I'm the beer holder.
Okay, quickly. You got 20 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. So that song. You remember when that song was playing on the radio back in the day? You probably remember it.
St. Elmo's Fire. I remember the movie.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that summer, I took my Honda Goldwing and I rode, and I had a fairing and obviously and the stereo, in case anybody's wondering. And I drove nonstop from Minneapolis to Banff, Alberta, Canada. Spent a couple weeks there, and then I drove nonstop to my other home down in Wyoming. Drove nonstop down to Cody. And spent a few days or a week there, and then I drove nonstop back to Minnesota.
Well, there you go. All right.
With that song playing all the time.
Wow, that's actually kind of weird. All right, man.
On
Thanks.
The radio. Well,
thanks for the call, man. I gotta go.
Yeah,
we'll be right back. KTOX News.
KTOX and K281CR Needles.
If you are just turning on your radios,
this is KTOX.
Bring you up to date on the news.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Wild weather is expected over the coming days.
From an atmospheric river and flooding in Hawaii to record heat in the Southwest and late season snow with 2 storm systems in a row chugging along the country's northern tier, with one storm potentially strengthening into a rare inland bomb cyclone. While the Midwest and East will be plunged into single digits, the Southwest is facing a heat dome with prolonged triple-digit temperatures. Washington, D.C. saw record highs of 86 degrees Wednesday. The next day, it was snow. Experts linked the wild swings to a sharply dipping jet stream. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky calls the Trump administration's easing of sanctions on Russia not the right decision.
At a news conference with French President Emmanuel Macron, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said the U.S. 30-day waiver on Russian oil sanctions amid the Iran war is not the right decision and won't help bring a stop to Russia's more than 4-year-old invasion of Ukraine. Zelensky adds this easing, along by the U.S., could provide Russia with about $10 billion for the war. This certainly does not help peace. I believe that lifting sanctions will, in any case, lead to a strengthening of Russia's position. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The American military has ordered 2,500 Marines and an amphibious assault ship to the Middle East, a U.S. official said Friday, in a major addition of forces in the region after nearly 2 weeks of war with Iran. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average down by 119 points, the Nasdaq dropping 206, the S&P 500 lower by 40, and oil at $98 a barrel. More at townhall.com.
A Social Security update. 70 million Americans collect Social Security benefits today, and millions more will join soon. Now, a new study finds 70% of Americans don't get the full benefits they deserve. But recipients can use simple strategies to boost Social Security benefits by as much as $188,000 over a lifetime. Social Security expert Michael Allen says it's true and reveals 5 key strategies to increase your benefits. It's all in his free special report. Newsmax calls the report your best guide for bigger Social Security benefits. Whether you're getting benefits or soon will, you need the Social Security report. Get it free. Call 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. We'll text it to you right away, along with President Trump's act cutting your Social Security taxes. Call now, 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. Text and data rates may apply.
Swantee's a Bullhead City, wants to make your life easier. Swantee's has new Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Dodge vehicles all in stock, like the 2025 Dodge Durango. Swantee's features fast trade-in value, competitive specials, and no-hassle financing. Now Swantee's wants your car, paid for or not. They will come to you, have an extra car, sell it to us today, or trade in to upgrade. Swantee's of Bullhead City at 2494 Highway 95, right here in beautiful Bullhead City.
A former manager from the Harvard Medical School morgue was just sentenced to 8 years in prison, and the reason will turn your stomach. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, back soon with more on this ghoulish story.
Your email is your business, but if it's spied on, hacked, or intercepted, it can fall into the wrong hands. The solution is encryption, a high-tech way to scramble your data so no one can read it. For years, only the technical elite could use this powerful tool until StartMail came along. StartMail not only lets you encrypt the email you send, it encrypts your entire account. Encryption. It's just one more way StartMail.com keeps you safe.
Former Harvard morgue manager Cedric Lodge will be spending 8 years in the slammer for the crime of selling human body parts on the black market. Yes, you heard that right. Once a donated cadaver was done being used for research purposes, Mr. Lodge would go on to ship brains, hands, skin, and more to buyers in Pennsylvania and beyond, with one customer making the purchase so he could tan it into leather and bind it into a book. Yuck. Lodge wasn't the only one either. At least 6 people pled guilty to taking part in this wicked scheme, including his own wife. Fortunately, his evil business empire has been stopped dead in its tracks. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht in praise of life at realisgood.org.
Has anybody told you about Coast to Coast AM tonight?
Coast to Coast is one of those programs that deals with strange mysteries. We'll look at Bigfoot. We'll look at UFOs. We'll look at real science. And we'll also look at conspiracies and what it all means to you, the listeners of Coast to Coast AM.
It's the best in overnight talk radio. Coast to Coast AM.
That's Coast to Coast every night at 10 p.m. right here on KTOX.
From the KTOX AM 1340 and 92.9 FM Weather Center, I'm Charles Dixon. Few clouds and 91 degrees on Route 66 in Needles, and good afternoon to listeners in Oatman. Currently scattered clouds and 83 degrees for you. Getting down to 61 overnight tonight, Saturday's high will be in the lower 90s, overcast clouds. Temperatures in the upper 80s on Sunday. That's your KTOX Tri-State weather. Brought to you by Route 66 Broadband.
KTOX. The opinions voiced on the Rob Hanson radio program are those of the host and the callers, and not necessarily those of KTOX and Reuben Broadcasting.
Oh, welcome back. It is the Miss Rob Hanson radio program, hour number 2, right here. Let's get this thing started, shall we? I think we shall.
It's the Mr. Rob Hanson radio program on KTOX 1340 AM, now with FM on 92.9 FM, the Tri-State's undisputed talk leader.
And welcome back. 855-586-9134. We're going to shift gears to illegal immigration. Anyhow, the Telegraph, a UK paper, did an interview with a man who is being referred to as Ted, Tango Echo Delta Ted, had interesting things to say about his experience when he was detained and sent back. He said this in the statement: in the summer of early autumn of last year, I was arrested, detained, and deported by Immigration and Customs Enforcement in Chicago. I was actually on the way to the airport, headed to a friend's wedding, and then I had just gotten into an Uber on the way to the airport from my apartment. They had a specific warrant for me. They knew my work schedule. They had been monitoring me. I was taken to a county jail where I was detained in a cell with maybe 40 other detainees. I was there for 3 weeks, then loaded onto an American Airlines flight and taken to London Heathrow Airport, at which point I was released. He goes on to say, I'm not making excuses. I should have been deported. There's an illegal immigration crisis in America, and any president who wants lawfully ordered nation has the right and the duty and the obligation to enforce deportation. And yet, with what just happened in Minnesota, you saw these leftist agitators that were implementing law enforcement or impeding law enforcement. They were obstructing the enforcement of law in attempts to detain or deport illegal immigrants, especially criminal illegal immigrants. And what Trump did is he pulled the Department of Homeland Security out of Minnesota, I think. If anything, if he was going to be consistent with his policy, he should have brought in the National Guard and doubled down. This from a deported illegal alien. For good measure, Ted also called Britain a dump compared to America, considering the loss of basic freedoms, far-left policies, and the appeasement of radical Islam in the UK. It's tough to argue with Ted's assessment. And I just wonder how many other of those kind of stories are out there. And yes, I have the full interview. So no, I did not just make that up. Oh man. So why is it? Why is the left so hard pressed to keep dangerous illegal aliens in the United States? Why are they so hot on having all of these people here? Well, some would say it was so they can vote in the elections. I have made the argument that Americans only vote, but I've seen evidence. I smell the smoke where people, especially illegal aliens, have been caught voting. Let's go to the phones. KTOX, you're on the air.
It seems obvious that they want to change the culture.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to go about that, I would assume.
Well, what culture do they want to change it to?
Well, obviously, they don't like the particular culture that we have right now. In fact, the culture is so diversified right now, it's hard to tack down to any one culture, isn't it?
Yeah. But what culture is their goal to change it to? That is my better question.
Well, one that would go along with the global warming scenario, for starters.
Okay.
But there's a lot of issues like that.
How is that put forward by bringing in illegal aliens?
By people who think that it's a lot. It's jail here is an improvement in lifestyle for many of them.
Well, this is true. This is true.
and to get them to go along with your program on climate and whatever else it is you want to change about our culture. Our consumption culture when it comes to natural resources and that sort of thing. It makes it a lot easier for those who really believe they want change to change it.
Yeah. Well, I've kind of come to believe that half of the things that the Democrat Party or the leftists want to have happen, they actually don't give a crap about.
I agree.
They only put it forward because it advances their particular agenda to a certain amount of people. Therefore, they've got their support. Oh, we're for clean air and climate change, anti-climate change and stuff like that. Oh, yeah, everybody's for a clean planet. Oh, yeah, we want a better environment. No, we don't want poisoned water. So everybody can agree with that, right? You don't want your water poisoned. You want to be able to breathe the air when you step outside. Sure, that sounds perfectly reasonable, right? Well,
yeah, except some of us see through it.
Well, of course it is. It's a money making measure. All right, look at the carbon tax, for instance. All right, you agree to pay extra money and you can pollute as much as you want. How's that helping the environment? Oh, you get money. I see. That's how it helps. I see that helps. We pay billion. We paid $1 billion into the Paris Climate Accords. How did that help the carbon dioxide rate in the atmosphere one iota?
Well, all the flights going into the Paris Climate Accord.
Well, it certainly added to it. Yeah. Well, the thing is, when throwing money at the problem, giving it to NGOs or whatever, doesn't solve the problem. Doesn't solve the problem at all. So all it is a money-making scheme for them.
Well,
that's it.
And it's change,
Change.
And that's all they'll say to you.
Yeah, change. What change? Pocket change? Pocket lint? Or regime change? What is it? What is it they're after with this climate dealio?
All of the above.
All the above. Okay. So they want more control. Take away more freedoms. And govern me harder, Daddy, government, right?
Right.
Okay. All righty. I don't know. It's just it just seems silly.
Look at the attitude. Look at the attitude of the Jews in New York, for instance.
Okay.
They helped vote in the Muslim.
Yeah, I know. New York is a special case of stupid right now. I hope Johnny's okay. I really do.
We haven't heard from him, have we?
Haven't heard from him for a minute. Might have to call him. I have his phone number someplace. Might have to call him. See if he's doing okay. But yeah, New York is a special kind of stupid right now. And, especially with the terrorist attack last week and an anti-Muslim rally. And, man, I'll tell you what, those people are toast. They really are. They have done it to themselves.
Well, look at, just for an example, 10 million people.
Mm-hmm.
And you get somebody throws a hand grenade amongst them. How many people does that really affect? Well, the whole 10 million all of a sudden are just a a stampeding herd of cattle.
Yeah, well, that would have killed many more people, right there. And thank God that those bombs did not go off. Is all I can say. But okay. I had a question posted by a friend of mine this morning, and she lives in Tennessee. Nashville, Tennessee, or around Nashville. Let's put it that way. I don't think she actually lives in Nashville. But she lives in that area. And she posed the question, if you had to choose one option based on quality of life, which country would you rather live in? A Jewish-controlled country or an Islamic-controlled country?
Well, the quality of life that appeals to you the most is wearing a hijab and being on your knees all the time. I suppose they'd choose the enormous country.
That wasn't a rhetorical question. That was an actual question. So which one would you choose?
Oh, if I was to go to any country right now?
No. If you had to choose one option based on quality of life, which country would you rather live in? A Jewish-controlled country or an Islamic-controlled country? That's a personal question to you.
Oh, okay. Well, I like being able to go to the store and purchase items for my own consumption, and that's not possible in many of those other countries, is it?
Okay, so which one? You'd go to a Jewish-controlled country like Israel?
Well, I don't know. It's I suppose.
Okay.
I suppose I would choose Israel over the rest of them. I don't know why anyone would think there would be an advantage amongst any of the others.
Would you like to hear my answer?
Sure.
Okay, my answer was this. I've lived my entire life under Western Judeo-Christian values and principles. That being stated, if I were to live in a Jewish-controlled country, say like modern-day Israel, I wouldn't have to fear of being tossed off a roof or otherwise summarily executed.
Well, Israel doesn't have a Second Amendment, you know.
Yeah, but they let their people have arms. They learn their lesson pretty hard.
One of the latest issues I read of Firearms News had an interesting article on what the Israelis have to go through in order to be able to carry firearms.
Yeah, they have to go through a bit, but they're a different country. That's fine. But if you could only choose one of the two systems to live under, which one of those would you choose? Probably one that more closely resembles what you're living in under now, a country that is essentially